Isn't that interesting? I mean, all the dramas that we can see on TV or on the movies, or the horror movies, I mean, the actors themselves don't suffer. But the moment we look at it, we suffer because we are attached to it. We associate with it, with our own life. And that's why we suffer. But if we would just see it, as some characters, jumping around the screen, I mean, what the hell, What the heck? I mean, even if we go a little bit further, I mean, just to see that our eyes, that's also, actually it's called moving picture. Isn't it? But because the pictures are moving so fast, we get the illusion that there's something happening. But if we increase our mindfulness and see just one picture at one time, I mean, it doesn't make any sense at all. So the sense comes through the connection, through connecting past and future and present moment. To draw a line and say, we are feeling bad, or now it's getting worse. And that's what makes us suffer. Actually, there's only one moment. In this one moment, the moment we make Buddha, we don't suffer. The moment we are concentrated, we have awareness, we don't suffer. But the moment we want something, we suffer. The moment we hate something, we suffer. The moment we are attached to something, we suffer. If it's pain, that comes up in this body, we suffer. But actually, when we investigate pain, truthfully, then there is no pain. There's just changes taking place in the body. That's all what is happening. But the first reaction of our mind or our chitta is, it's painful, that's unpleasant, I don't like it, I want to get rid of it, and then of course it doesn't happen. Then the pain becomes stronger and stronger. It's just like we put oil on the fire to extinguish it. That doesn't work, does it? I mean, we should put water or damp cloth. And that water is the Buddha, or the damp cloth is the investigation of what is pain or what is happening. That's it. Nothing more. If you say, you say it was interesting experience. Have you been to meditation centers before? No. So you're fresh. So why do you leave so soon? Let's make some more interesting experiences. Huh? New Zealand there as well? I mean, stay on for a little while, Don't give in to your kilesas, and say, oh, now I need to go, oh, now I need to do this. Now it's enough, Just a little bit of success is enough. And I don't want actually go through the hard times again. That's why I decide to go. But it's all, it's your life. You take the responsibility. I just invite you to stay a little bit longer. I mean, to deal with the things. When you're back in your life, you don't think that these things don't happen all the time. I mean, somebody says something to you that you don't like to hear. You get angry. Or you get depressed. I mean, it's happened constantly. I mean, if you can't deal with it right now, how can you deal with it when you're back in the world and completely distracted, have no penny of mindfulness, no penny of awareness? Huh? I mean, what is so fun about this world? Huh? I do ask myself, you have to forgive me, I'm 20 years out of the world. So after a while, it doesn't draw you in so much anymore. I mean, is it so much fun? What is it so much fun, I mean, just think about meeting your friends, huh? Is that so much fun?
No fun.
So, if that is not so fun, what is fun? Being by oneself, of course, being in solitude, that is always much better. You don't have anybody, to bother you, but still you have to bother to cook your food. So you have to go shopping. I mean, and sometimes you have to buy this or you buy that. I mean, you have to live, and then sometimes you become lonely. And then what do? You call your friends, or you turn on the TV. But it's just an illusion. We're always lonely. Because we are separate. Our nature at the moment, our nature is separated from ourselves, from our true nature. That's why we all feel lonely. It's not because, we don't have a friend that we feel lonely. Even with our friend we feel lonely. Even with the most intimate friend or partner we feel lonely. I mean, because we are separate entities. Or we see ourselves as separate entities. That's why we feel lonely. We are separate from ourselves, from our true nature. I mean, and the only way to overcome this is to find this true nature. The first thing and the easiest way is to just go in Appana Samadhi where everything disappears. And that's where we can find our true nature. But in the moment that we come out, of course everything is back to normal. So then we have to find the way of investigation, to find the true nature that it will last for the rest of our lives. And we are not bothered by being in lonely places or being in uncomfortable places or being in this country or that country. We are not bothered by anything. We are not bothered if people speak good about us. We are not bothered if people speak bad about us. That's a freedom that we can achieve. I mean, it's not beyond our possibilities. It's not beyond our abilities to achieve this kind of freedom. It is right there within our own heart. All what we have to do is to remove all the stumbling blocks that are in front of the door. Once we open the door, there it is, whoosh. I mean, and then we don't need a thing from this world. We don't need a thing from this conventional reality. We don't even care if we're still alive or dead. Because that doesn't matter to us. Because it is then so clear that we are just in the movie. In the movie of our own life. Our own life movie. This life movie. The last movie that we saw or that we experienced, we forgot already. Because that was the movie of our last life. And the movie before we forgot also. And each movie that we see, or we attach to it. We suffer with it. And we are joyful with it. We get angry at it. And we we love it. So, and the next life is the next movie. Just like Shakespeare said, this life, in this role on that stage, and the next life in another role on the stage. I mean, I don't know where he knew that from, but he was quite a wise person. He might have trained as a Buddhist monk before. So, that's it. I mean, it's up to you what you want. And it's not beyond your abilities. I mean, at least if you find the way here, to this monastery, to the teaching of the Lord Buddha that is still present and it still leads to the Nibbana, I mean, then it's not beyond your abilities. At least you can start going on the way now. I mean that, and when you finish, when your life comes to an end, at least you know within your heart that you have done something that has the utmost value. The utmost value in this whole universe. Because you have tried to get rid of the kilesas that constantly put you down. I mean, you get rid of the people who put you down. You're not friends with them anymore. But the kilesas that are within your own heart, they constantly put you down. They cheer you only up to do something, that is bad for us. Just like the hooligans, huh? They just like to crash things. That's where they have their biggest joy. And the kilesas just enjoy, to crash our virtue, our moral values. That's where they have the utmost fun. But we are the ones who have to pay the debt of all the destruction they make. I mean, we have to go to hell. We have to suffer hell. They don't. They don't care. I mean, all what they want is just to have their fun. But we still say, yes, my Lord, it's right, my Lord, you're right, my Lord, I have to go now, because it's going to get dangerous for me. I mean, the longer you practice, the more, you undermine the power of the Creator. Oh. And that is the only thing. That is just the only thing that the kilesas are afraid of. To lose their power over you. You can't persuade the kilesas, you can't argue with the kilesas, you can't discuss anything with the kilesas, but you can make them afraid. Because they have one thing they don't know. That's their basic principle. They really don't know. So if you make them afraid with dying, I mean they will give in. If you sit through penance, say, and in the next moment, the kilesas tell you, I mean, if I'm going to sit one more minute longer, I will die. And then you say, yes, good, fine, let's see what is left over. I mean, they are so afraid of it, that they disappear. They're so, that's what makes them really afraid. Death. And they put their fear on us. So we are afraid of death. But actually they are afraid of death. They are afraid to lose their power. That's the only thing, that's the only fear they have. And that is our only weapon that we have against them. And we have to use it. And then, of course, we have to sit through unpleasant feelings. They don't know that they are going to produce it, just to make you give up. They don't understand. Actually, they really do not understand their own nature. They're just like we, when we are kids, We don't understand, but we do things. We love to do things. Go here, do this, do that. Constantly in motions. Not one moment of rest. Constantly doing this. Once we finish reading the book, then we eat, then we sleep, then we go for a walk, then we go shopping, then we do, all these things, then we listen to music, go to see our friends, call our friends, look at the internet or play a game or whatever. Constantly. Just look at your own life. Have you been a minute, once it was 5 or 10 minutes where you didn't know what to do, you felt bored. And because out of this boredom comes then all these great ideas, what can I do, to escape this unpleasant feeling of boredom. Wonderful, and then we are in action again, and this action triggers the next action, and so on, and so on, and so on. And there's no end to it. And now we learn, when we come here, now we learn for the first thing is, to sit quiet, to be still, to not let the mind go out the way it normally goes. Of course I'm talking from my own point of view, but what is so fun, to think about a new birth. I mean, you have to do all the things again. The first thing is you have to learn to digest. Because in the beginning, the food just goes in and it comes out just the same way. And that. I mean, at that moment, we are not really realizing that. No? The first thing that we can remember is how we learn to walk. This, there are some remembrance of this. And then we know about the difficulties to learn to talk. And then we know about the difficulties to train our mind, to train our intellect. I mean, 15 years. Up to 25 years if you go to university. So next life you have to do the same thing again. Wonderful. And all the fights, with our parents. Wonderful. Come back again. We become parents and the children, our parents from our previous lives. And our parents of this life are our children from the previous life. So that explains all the difficulties. And brothers and sisters, just the same thing. I mean, we know each other for life after life and after life. And we have the difficulties, I mean, they are born within us. I mean, I don't like this person, I just see that person, I had never met this person, and I don't like it. From the first moment I see it, I don't like that person. Or I love it. Where does that come from? It comes from an old memory. From past lives. Nowhere else. I mean, there's no magic in the teachings of the Lord Buddha. Everything is very reasonable. Everything is explainable. And that is the beauty of it, especially for the Western people who are a little bit more rational. I mean, it just explains just everything. I mean, there's no mystic. I mean, there are beings in other worlds that we can't see. Of course, yes. I mean, the moment we close our eyes, and board the train to this and that realm, I mean, we can see them, we can talk with them. But of course, we have to learn it. It's not up to everyone, that he, goes into Upachara Samadhi and then ejects himself on the seat, to go into the heavenly realm or in the ghost realm or in the demon realm. And most of us have to train it. But it's not impossible. That's a gateway. That's why it's called access samadhi, access to all states of realms of being. And there are 36 realms of being. We only see two realms, the animal realm and the human realm. The others we don't see. From 36, just two realms. 34 are hidden. There are beings all over. But some of us can see them. I mean, they're just as real as a person is. I mean, even in the West, some of the little children or some of the little kids, tell the mother, "Oh, look, there's a person up there in the tree." I mean, what does the mother answer? "You're crazy. There's nobody up there." Because when we are still young, we are not yet so much attached to this conventional reality. So we see other things, we feel other things. We know that there are other beings. Just like the dogs know if there's a ghost coming. They bark. And then we wonder, why does this dog bark? There's nobody there. It sees, it feels, it senses. But we. And that is the problem of our rational mind, because everything that we go through with our physical eyes, I mean, that just doesn't exist. But from physical reality, we also know that our eyes can see only in a very, very limited spectrum. So what is in the red spectrum? What kind of beings are in the red spectrum? What kind of beings are in the extreme blue spectrum? We could see them. If our eyes would be accustomed to them. Because they are there. Just around us, everywhere. Certainly not in the big cities. It's not a place for them to live there. But in the forest, even close to little villages, you can find them. Both of them. Ghosts and devas. Ghosts and heavenly beings. I mean, we even have a name for them. We call them angels. Huh? You're familiar with this name? Angels. I mean, they draw them with wings on their back, but they don't need wings. The way they transport themselves from one place to the other is by thought. From one moment, they're in Germany, and the next moment they're in the Thailand. If they know where they want to go, of course they have to know. Don't you think? They're still angels. So, where's all this myth coming from? And we call it mystic because, we can't explain it. I mean, just go there and you see for your own sake. I mean, Achaman used to go in the heavenly realms and walk Changkro. I mean, he did his walk in meditation, and looking at these beautiful palaces in the heavenly world. And then next time, he went down to hell, and saw all these people suffering. I mean, his chitta was adventurous. It doesn't mean, that it happens to us. Well, I guess most of us it won't happen. But, there are some crazy people, who just see these things. Don't you, Ken? I mean, I experienced myself, some other oddities, but, it happens once in a while.
There are all these myths, stories, and religion and teaches angels and devils and all of this kind of thing. Yet,
they really exist.
Yes, but if anyone actually acts or says they really exist, people get upset.
Because they don't want to believe it. And why don't they want to believe it? Because they don't want to believe there is a life after this life. That's why they don't want to believe it. And that's why they get upset. Because you upset their belief system. I mean, if there are demons and ghosts really around us, but I mean, from my understanding, I mean, the Europeans are hardly afraid of ghosts. I mean, they deal with them in a very, leave me alone, British. I mean, I've got enough of your rampage. I've got enough of your behavior. Go. But the Thais are very afraid of ghosts. I mean, that's a difference. Wherever they see, even if there's no ghost there, see. Wherever there is darkness, they see ghosts because they're so afraid of their spirits. I mean, that also means something. I mean, it does mean something of our karma. Why are we so afraid? Because we don't want to be reminded of our bad karma that we have done. Or be reminded of the bad karma we have done in this life to become a ghost. That's why we don't want to believe in it. I mean, people are afraid of hell because they know hell. They have experienced it so often, over and over again. That's why they're so afraid of hell. So if you tell the people, hell really exists, I mean, they get angry. Because they know. I mean, if I talk about something called Papa Papu, I mean, are you afraid of it? No. Because you have never been to this land that is called Papa Papu. And even if people tell you the worst stories about this land, I mean, that doesn't make fear in you. You can only be afraid of what you memorize. What you have experienced before. And why do you think people want to go to a heavenly world? Because they have experienced it before. And they love it. That's why they want to go to heaven. If somebody talks about a land, ba-ba-ba-ba, not ba-ba-ba-boo, ba-ba-ba-ba, and says, it's such a wonderful place, it's a paradise. I mean, yes, people like to go there, because at the moment, their life is not paradise, but it doesn't make any sense. But we all have. Every one of us has the experience of heaven in its memory. Not in the memory in the physical body, but in the memory of the chitta. So he knows it. And he probably has a village there, he probably has a little house up there in heaven. That's why he wants to go back. And some people have a huge palace over there. And every one of us has its working place in the house. And we don't want to be reminded of that. Because with every kind of good karma we do, we create or we put another brick on our house in heaven. And with every kind of bad karma we do, we build up our place down in hell. And we can't exchange that. I mean, whatever we do bad, we have to experience it. Whatever we do good, we will experience it just the same way. Wonderful, I mean, there's no exchange, there's no mercy. Some people say karma is so unmerciful. Yeah. I think I said it before, Are we merciful when we kill a person or when we torture a person? And then when it comes back to us, we say, oh, how unmerciful. The person that gets raped, the woman that gets raped, you say, I mean, these men are so unmerciful. Forgetting, it just did it, just the last life or the previous life. And now it comes back. And that's when we say it's unmerciful. When we do it, we don't say we are unmerciful. I mean, we love it. I mean, some of us just love to torture other people. Some of us just love to kill other people. And some of us just love, to rape other people, to get their frustration. They are so frustrated about life, they have to do bad things unto others. I mean, to feel some sort of, satisfaction. And then it comes back to us, and then we are furious. We are absolutely furious. How can that, I mean, each farmer knows if he seeds potatoes, he will reap potatoes, and not wheat. So if we sow love, we will reap love and not hate. But if we seed, hate, then we will reap hate and not love. I mean, it's so simple as that. I mean, we believe physics. I mean, so we should believe these kind of karma as well. It's nothing than a law, and we can't escape that law. I mean, a farmer knows it. I mean, if he seeds salad, he will reap salad. If he seeds an apple, apple tree, I mean, he will reap apples, not peaches. But at the moment he reaps, he wants peaches, so he's not satisfied. Because he forgot that 7 years ago he seeded, or 7 lives ago he seeded apples. Bad luck. And then he's furious with the Lords up there. He's furious with the heavenly world that doesn't know any mercy, has no mercy on him. Because we all go for the ones at this moment. And forget all the things that we've did in the past, isn't it? It's wonderfully simple. I mean, the Buddhist religion is so wonderfully simple. It's so logical in itself. And there's no mystery about anything at all. I mean, even when you look at the supernatural powers, there is no mystic about it. I mean, it's just to understand the way the 4 elements work and to be able, and understand and train how to manipulate these elements, and then you can fly. You can go into the sky, or you can walk over water, or you can swim in the earth, or you can go through closed doors. But of course we have to train that. So there's no magic behind it. I mean, we know physically, we know, when we know atom physics, we know that there's only a very, very small proportion that is earth element, and there's a lot of air element around that. So where is our solidity? Once we completely understand that principle, there's no problem, going through walls or walking in the air. Because the air is made out of the same elements. Earth is made out, also of the same elements. So we can swim in the earth. So where's the mystic? We place it because we say our physical laws doesn't, do exclude these things. But some of us have seen people, levitating. I mean, just, rising up into the air. I mean, physically it's not possible, but it is. Huh. So, I mean, where's all this mystic? Where's all this mystery? There's no mystery. It's just way to do, It's just like, we study a subject, and in the moment we understand the subject, we can do whatever we understood. Isn't it? With chemistry, I mean, we can create a lot of things. I mean, just look at our chemical industries. I mean, what they do, what the hell they do. I mean, that is amazing stuff. I mean, these chips, come all from, chemical and physical background. The moment you understand, you can do these amazing things, isn't it? So why can't you do these things? This one is, it's mystical, and this one is, physical or real. No. I mean, it's all the same thing. It's all, if you understand the laws of this conventional reality, I mean, there's no mystery. I mean, reading other people's thoughts, what is so difficult about it? I mean, our thoughts are not our thoughts. The thoughts are there somewhere. I mean, whoever grasps them first, that he says, that's my thought. So at the moment we are a little bit more aware, we can know. Nothing. I mean, nothing mystical about this stuff. Or mysterious. That is mysterious. There's nothing mysterious. Everything can be explained. And that is the beauty of it. I mean, for all us, who come from the West and who are brought up in this rational mind, I mean, that could be an extreme beauty. I mean, now everything, the people who are born in the ghetto is explainable. The person who is born in Saudi Arabia, the people just dump the money on him. I mean, he doesn't even have to do anything. I mean, the people just dump the money on him. It's also explainable. People who get murdered is also explainable. People who die in an air crash is also explainable. People who die in a car accident. Everything. It's karma. But we don't know the karma of our previous lives. And that's what we're afraid of. Intrinsically or intuitively we feel. We know what kind of. That's why we're afraid to go to hell. Because we know we have a place down there. And we really don't want to go. I mean, if we really don't want to go, from now on, from this very moment on, we just do good things. We don't do anything, that builds that place in hell up. I mean, that's easy. It sounds easy, doesn't it? So why don't we do it? Because I want, that comes up. I want this, but I want this, and I want that. I want to go here, I want to go there. I want to persuade this woman for one night stand. That's it. Okay. One brick more in hell. Although I have a partner at home, I I certainly like this. He's fresh. He's new. I don't know him. So he's much more interesting than the partner at home. Another prick in house. And that's how we get all the pricks. That's how we build up, the place down in hell. And we certainly know it, for our conscience is really telling us that was not right. Don't we have that? I mean, if you come here, we all have this kind. We all had it, sometimes in our life we all had a bad conscience when we did something wrong, didn't we? We knew that it was wrong. But yet we still did it. We went over our own conscience. That is exactly that thing or that nature or that karma that tells us if you do that, you will experience very unhappy feelings. But we don't listen to it because the voice is so soft, and the voice of the kilesas, I mean, they are just on the amplifier. I want this, I want that. But if you get this, that, and this will happen. But the kilesas, have just a better amplifier. I mean, much more powerful. So we constantly listen to that. We don't listen to the conscience. That tells us this is right and tells us that is right. That is not right. I'm just taking something, just within our heart we know it's not right. Just hitting somebody within our heart we know it's not right. Or even if he did it out of reflex, then the moment. I mean, I talk only about people who are a little bit aware of themselves. I'm not talking about the normal person. They are not aware of it. But people who are a little bit, who are a little bit trained, who are a little bit, people who come here, they should be aware of that. I've done it, I did the same thing, I'm just talking from my very own experience. I knew it and I still did it. Because I wanted it. Because I liked it so much. That's why I did it. So, but we can get rid of the fear by, from now on, doing only things that are wholesome. And the more we do it, if we do it for a year, if we do it for 2 years, if we do it for 5 years, if we do it for 10 years, the memory for our bad, will be slowly forgotten. So it slowly will feed us or will lead us in the right direction. But of course, when we go back in the world, we are a lonely wolf. Because everybody goes the other direction and we go walking up that stony path. Not doing what is against the virtues. Everybody runs down, doing all our friends, going down the train. So we are a lonely wolf, we don't have to look at anybody, just but ourselves. And that is difficult. That is extremely difficult, and that's why the Lord Buddha said, the spiritual life, having a friend, having a good friend in the spiritual life, is the whole of your spiritual life. Somebody who tells you this is, thank you, somebody who tells you this is right and this is wrong. Not just following the friends, bad friends, lead us to destruction. And good friends lead us to spiritual growth. So having good friends, is the whole spiritual life. Just don't let go of them. Just don't let go of the hands of them. Even if they kick you away because they're frustrated because you constantly do something wrong. They're human after all. Even friends are human. If you have a friend, and he constantly tells you this is not good, you constantly go against it, and do wrong. He gets frustrated after that. And he kicks your butts, and says, if you don't listen, just go away, I don't want to see you anymore. And then we are really sorry. Because then we are just going down the drain. We have nobody to listen to anymore. So, you don't practice for me, you practice for your own good. If you stay here longer, you don't do me a favor, but you do yourself a favor. That's it. That's all what I want to say. Encourage you, Because at home it is not easy, and I know from my own experience. I mean, you have to fight even your friends, your mothers, your parents, your brothers, and your sisters. Because they're all going down. They're all going the other direction. I mean, your sister not, but
I agree with you, but it's the housewife.
But she still also has doubt, she still doesn't really yet know, what is the right path and what is the wrong path. So she still can go wrong. I mean, a spiritual friend is somebody, who knows what the path is. Who knows what is right, who knows what is helpful on the path, and who knows what is not helpful on the path. Who knows what is wrong and who knows what is right. I mean, that's what is called a kalyana mitra, a spiritual friend. And to find one is hard in this society. Really hard. So, wonderful talk.